Senior government officials in the Ministry of Public Service were interdicted after one of the biggest white-collar hests unraveled. About 169 billion shillings pension funds meant to pay retired civil servants could not be accounted for. Jimmy Rwamafa, a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Public Service, Christopher Obe, Stephen Kunsa Chiwanuka, David Japinizoloka, Francis Rubega, Peter Sajabi, and Cairo Bank were questioned by detectives over the missing funds.
A minimum of 169 billion was stolen. That's established. It is also clear that, the money passed through some bank.
However, there are fears that as detectives began to gather evidence, some of the suspects hatched a plan to tinker with the evidence. There are reports that some of the officers accepted bribes, and in return, they promised to let those implicated off the hook after two contradictory reports were tabled to the DPP. CIID boss Grace Akulo later claimed two detectives at the heart of the investigation were bribed. 2 months ago, the Chief Magistrate in the Anti-Corruption Court, Sarah Langa, dismissed the case after the state failed to produce cogent evidence.
It is quite incomprehensible how the DPP can fail to provide witnesses when a number of people recorded statements with police during investigations. This leaves one wondering why evidence was not presented in court, and it also shows a bigger picture of how police handles high-profile cases.
However, the Director of Public Prosecution, Michael Chibita, who promised to reinstate the case, has not yet acted.
We are disappointed that 2 months have elapsed without reinstating the case, despite the promise that it would be done within a month, which has created loopholes to the advantage of the suspects to go to an extent of demanding to be reinstated.
They have what it takes. They have the machinery, they have the manpower, and what have you. So it is up to them to put their house in order to restate the case.
Private prosecution is an alternative we are seriously thinking about.
The World Bank report estimates that Uganda loses about 700 billion shillings annually to corruption-related activities. Jingo Francis, NTV, Weekend Edition.